So let's go back down memory lane. Remember, during Donald Trump's first presidency, Jeffrey Epstein was found guilty, was sent off to prison, started serving his sentence. And during the midst of all of that, MSNBC, Morning Joe, put out a scathing news report about the friendship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Here's a clip of it.
You're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked it.
I cut the clip off too soon. Mika says at the end, Donald Trump was saying that he never liked Epstein. Well, we know what ended up happening with Jeffrey Epstein. I believe he was murdered, but it was reported that he unalived himself. Fast forward to the 2024 campaign trail. Donald Trump did an interview with some of the news reporters over there on Fox News, and they asked him about releasing some of these files. This is what he said.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But
he started out with a strong yes, and then reality kicked in. He said, wait a minute. Yeah, those maybe not so much because, there's a lot of phony stuff in those files. But then he went on to continuously campaign that he would release those files. But then he won the White House. The MAGA nuts were all excited. Donald Trump was going to release the Epstein files. We are going to get the truth. Yada, yada, yada. Sent his minions out there, the people that he put into his regime, and they teased and they were celebrating and lying to the MAGA nuts. Yeah, we're going to release the Epstein files. The Epstein files are on my desk. I'm going through it. Y'all remember Pam Bondi? This is what she said.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Remember that Pam Bondi said that the Jeffrey Epstein client list was sitting on her desk to go through. Remember, she said that. You just heard her say that. Okay? Let's keep going. Then they had this grand announcement. They invited all of these MAGA nut content creators out to the White House. Y'all remember that? Hold on. This event right here, remember the binders were labeled phase 1, which indicates that more phases are coming. Yeah, they were all smiles. They were showing off their binders, taking pictures, doing videos to put out there on social media, showing that they are a part of the elite crew. They're in good with the White House, and they getting the tea about the Jeffrey Epstein files. Phase 1. And one of those content creators, before they got on the airplane headed back, they started flipping through the binder only to realize that all of the information in there was heavily redacted, number one. And it was stuff that we have already seen, stuff that was already floating out there on social media. I did a video about that. Go back in my video library and see if you can find it. If I can find it real quick, I'll put it in the description box somewhere. But from there, I noticed, and you probably noticed too, that the tune started to change coming from the DOJ. They stopped talking about the Jeffrey Epstein files. Remember Paulina Luna? She was supposed to be doing a special investigation into getting those docs and letting everybody know about those docs. Remember all of that? People, the hype around the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files started to go silent, right? And they were asked, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, they were asked in subsequent interviews about those files, and they were given excuses. There's all of these docs that they had to go through. They needed to make sure that, they didn't put information out there that didn't need to be put out there. They were going to protect the victims and all of that. I think I got a clip. Hold on.
What about the video from the island?
Oh, that's sorry. So you're talking about two different
Yes.
things.
Sorry.
So again, we're going to give you everything we can, and people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine. Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
So,
Where else would it be?
right, if you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it
No, we're giving you everything we have.
so far.
Everything we have so far is...
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Right.
And
And is there video from the island?
not of what you want. The people out there have filled the void with can't wait to see X, Y, or Z.
Right, speculation.
And
Ladies and gentlemen, that is called double speak. Trying to walk that fine line. Don't want to piss off the MAGA nuts because y'all made promises to MAGA nuts. Y'all promised that y'all was going to release the Epstein files. And Kash Patel was one of those content creators, those white right-wing nut jobs out there that was hammering about the Jeffrey Epstein client list. Release the Jeffrey Epstein client list. And now that he's in this position to know exactly what is on that list, who is on that list, now all he has is double speak. Why is he walking this fine line, traveling this real thin line? It's because he knows who's on that client list. And he's protecting who's on that client list. And now, late last night, the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, now they're saying that there is no Epstein client list. And they're saying he unalived himself. He was not murdered. And from what I understand, they have released some videos. See, they've been working behind the scenes all of this time to get rid of those files, in my opinion. They've been working to get rid of those files, and they've been working to doctor whatever videos they have. No client list, they say. 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 Now, I'm not saying that any of those people are for sure on Jeffrey Epstein's client list. I don't know. But I know that I easily went over to the Google machine and found those pictures, and that seems suspicious to me. And if we don't get to see the client list, then all of those people look suspicious to me. In that Axios article, it says President Trump's Justice Department and FBI have concluded they have no evidence that convicted ex-offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered. Axios states that all of this is according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. I went over to Axios and that article, I read the article, and there is no memo. This is what was on the website in the article. Axios, what is this? What is this?
Hello, Alex Eisenstadt from Axios here. Tonight at Axios, we have an exclusive report. The DOJ says it has no evidence to suggest that disgraced financier, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein kept a client list, blackmailed any of his clients, or that he was murdered. We have obtained a memo that was written by the DOJ and the FBI explaining these findings. Further, the FBI and the DOJ are releasing video footage from outside Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell the night he was killed. The FBI and the DOJ have released this footage in two different versions. One is in raw footage version. The other is in sort of enhanced version. They say that this footage, and it can be viewed yourself, that it shows that there was no one that murdered Jeffrey Epstein when he was killed.
No client list, they say.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
But now, there's no client list, they say.